up so that
which I think total 526
Be so kind, as Patsy says, turn your phones off. Sergeant in here, I'll have to punish you if I hear a phone call. Sergeant, we make it official. Sergeant of Arms, welcome to the second seminar. We started talking about this, I'm going to ramble, which you guys like a while back. We're going to talk about some Joy, but I asked Joy a minute ago what the title of this is. Really the perfect title here, Bling. So Joy has gotten together a lot of artifacts. Some of us sent pictures for her, and she's accumulated some things. And there's she'll probably talk more about it. There's an exhibit currently going on in the museum about Bling, and we'll call that Bling.
it's the
Well-dressed package. So anyway, lead speaker, are the other two going to have anything to say on this, or they just help you to get it done?
Charlie's going to be assisting in going through our game show, but Jack and Brad, I think, are not.
Oh, Zach and Brad, okay. Brad's name, Charlie's
No,
Charlie's
Charlie's
behind
here.
you.
Charlie's here.
Charlie's here, Brad took off.
Brad's
Okay.
here.
Brad, okay.
Hi, Brad.
Okay. Brad is white gloves, and Billy, you must have had an influence on someone. So, I noticed that Jack was not using white gloves. We all probably all use our white gloves. It's really just trying to teach us in the past. I think all of you know Joy Summer Smith, the associate, she's the associate director of the museum.
Not the assistant to the director.
Those titles seem interchangeable. Well, we'll call her associate director.
Trying to get these titles straight. She's been here since 2002, and then left to go to South Carolina, I believe, and she's currently vice president for programs for the museum. Doing lots of other stuff. She and her husband, raising 2 standard poodles and have a 16-month-old daughter, Chloe, who I guess you saw running around last night, which takes up time for her. Behind me here is Charlie Sanford, who is volunteered at the museum, helping catalog items, and then when did you become about 6 months ago? Or now a full-time staff member?
Full-time about 6 months ago.
6 months ago, so. And they, I'm sure, put together a great video presentation. The problem when you get me talking, all I can do is put a bunch of slides up there that my daughter put together because I'm not real slick with they helped me put together some of these talks last time. Plus, you don't have to hear me ramble. He's a much better speaker, so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Joyce.
Well, and so that we didn't stand up here and drone on about jewelry, and there are so many different pieces of jewelry that have a Dr. Pepper logo on it. I'm sure many of you are wearing a piece right now. We did some picking and choosing. We're not going to attempt to go over every single piece of Dr. Pepper jewelry that exists, but just give you a nice broad selection of some that we have in the collection at the Dr. Pepper Museum, and then I have spoken with a few of you who have offered up photographs of some of your own personal pieces, so you'll see that reflected in the presentation. And we're doing it as a game show, so we need some help from you all as we go through. It's a slight take on Jeopardy! With different categories, and you don't have to phrase the form of the question, you can just blur out the answer. So we'll have commercial breaks throughout the presentation too, to provide some relief to what it is that we're going through. So, all right, Charlie, are you ready? Any category.
Traveling through time.
All right. We will pull up a photograph here. So these watches were given out in 1996 to celebrate how many years of record volume?
10.
10. Very good. All right. So back to our category. We are marking off traveling for the category of 100 here. And now, another category, any category.
Buckle up.
Buckle up.
Okay, we're supposed to how much, aren't we? 400.
Oh, you're
Buckle up for 400, or are we wanting to go with 1?
Oh, 1. Okay.
Okay, the second most watched rodeo on television. The Mesquite Championship Rodeo was sponsored by what soft drink company in the 1980s and 1990s? All right, well, let's see here. All right.
Pin it down.
Get it down.
Hit it down.
What year?
This early button features what Dr. Pepper logo on the bottle?
We darn.
Good job. Next category?
Rainy day.
This logo was featured on the Dr. Pepper accredited route salesman rating.
Sign it down.
For 100.
We're doing all. Oh.
This chevron Dr. Pepper logo from the 1960s adorns what type of jewelry piece? And I've already heard it. iPad. All right, where are we going next?
Just hanging around.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Who's saying the jingle?
David Knoxon.
Okay, we've already got our commercial break going on. All right, who's up for starting the company for 100? And commercial break.
You know, scientific tests have proven that when you drink Dr. Pepper slowly, with 23 flavors, it tastes even better. Hey, I get it, because half my life's been in slow motion. Watch this. Slower is better. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Dr. J, control.
Maybe we're done with serving the company pepper. All right, where are we heading next?
Reagan Inc. for 200.
All right,
Oh, another commercial.
another commercial break.
For Dr. Pepper, here's Irene Cara.
In a world where people do their best to try and be like all the rest, it's such a joy to see true originality. And if you take your time, hold the line to the morning sky, do it hold down for the
For Dr. Pepper, in regular sugar-free and caffeine-free.
All right, so where are we headed now?
Buckle up for 200.
Buckle up for 200. What is the Dr. Pepper logo embossed on to create the faceplate for this belt buckle? Next category?
Traveling through time.
Traveling through time. In 1945, what Dr. Pepper radio show gave out this watch as a prize? Darts or dough?
10 to 4 times transcribed in Hollywood and broadcast over 140 stations from coast to coast. Dr. Pepper also invites you to tune in each Sunday afternoon, the funniest quiz show on the networks. Darts for dough.
Tick, tick, tock, 10 o'clock.
Tick, tick, tock, 2 o'clock.
Tick, tick, tock, 4 o'clock. Look at the clock and get rolled up when you're hungry, thirsty, and tired.
Just a moment, we're going back. I had a couple of pictures to show you. All right. Here we go. The image here shows Carol Gallagher presenting the first place winner, John O'Reilly, with a crisp $100 bill for his first place prize. Second place got the watch. That was Wayne Northern Salisbury. All right. Next category.
Tying it down.
Tying it down. punctuation, mark was abandoned in the 1950s. Next category. First part. Come on. Well, it was working on it. All right, well, let's head on back and go on to our next category. Anybody? Pin it down. Pin it down. In the 1930s, how many old Doc lapel pins could you purchase for $4.75? Get 1,000. Don't we all wish we could pull out $4.75 now for one of those? Serving the company for $200. What jolly old elf is also a pepper? Santa Claus. There is a little bit about the identification badge. A minimum order at the time was 10. Next category. Ring for 300. These mini can earrings resemble cans from what decade? Next category. Traveling through time. This late 1960s watch was one of how many types that Zodiac produced for Dr. Pepper in the 1960s? Good answer. 5. Let's see. 3. Zodiac was a Swiss company that's been around since 1882, just a couple of years older than Dr. Pepper. Aristide Calamé, son of a watchmaker, wanted to produce the most accurate watch of all time. So the original Zodiac timepiece was actually a pocket watch, and the wristwatch began to be produced in 1980. Zodiac in 1968 wowed the world when they developed the astrographic watch with its floating hands. Moving on.
Buckle up.
A stunning way to complete any suit. These 18-karat gold-plated cufflinks sold for how much in the early 1960s? If you said $2, you're still too high. $1.35, according to the 1962 Botler's catalog. Next category. Put it down. Put it down. What president is featured on this early Dr. Pepper watch? George Washington. Go back.
It was like 7 up back.
All right, next category.
Tying it down.
Tying it down for 300. This 18-karat gold-plated Dr. Pepper tie clip cost how much when it originally produced in that $35, where the cufflinks to get to the tie clip, you only needed 85. Now remember, these are prices that bottlers are paying that from the company. All right, next category.
Serving the company.
For 300.
What Dr. Pepper president was issued this name badge while attending the Greater Texas and Pan American Exhibition in Dallas at Fair Park in 1937? Dr. Pepper president. J.B. O'Hara. Son-in-law Robert Lazenby, who served the company faithfully working on franchise development across the country. He became president in 1933. Hanging around for 300 now. This necklace features an image of Frosty Dog in a bottle cap. What was Frosty Dog's name?
Boomer.
Excuse you, owe you again in the back. All right, moving on. We've got a lot of 400 levels open. Which one are we going to first? All right. What Dr. Pepper logo is featured on this pair of earrings? It is the Good for Life. These earrings were made out of aluminum cans by Bill Foster in the 1990s. Moving on, our next category. Buckle up. For 400. This belt buckle is in its original blue velvet case and celebrated the opening of the Dr. Pepper Museum in what year? Next category. Put it down. Put it down. What company produced the Drink a Bite and Eat It pins for Dr. Pepper in 1941? Star Engraving Company in Houston, Texas. The Drink a Bite and Eat It pins were awarded to Dr. Pepper route salesmen who completed the training course with an average grade of 90 or better. The pins were designed so that gemstones could be added later if so desired.
What year was that?
1941. Next category. Hanging around. This bracelet features the Dr. Pepper chevron logo of the 1960s. Similar bracelets, according to the 1962 Bottler's catalog, would have cost how much? $1.40.
And was it Starlin?
I'm sorry, I do not not have that recollection from the catalog. Next category, traveling through time. Grin and begin to win by drinking Dr. Pepper, king of beverages. Said who? Or what? The Billiken. The Billiken was a charm doll created by an American art teacher and illustrator, Florence Press of St. Louis, Missouri, who is said to have seen the mysterious figure in a dream. In 1908, she obtained a design patent for the ornamental design of the Billiken, who, as we all are familiar with, is elf-like with pointed ears, a mischievous smile, and a tuft of hair on top of his pointed head. His arms are short, and he generally sits with his legs stretched out in front of him. To buy a Billiken is said to bring the purchaser good luck, but to be given one is even better luck. The image was copyrighted in a trademark was put to the name. Today, the Billiken is the official mascot of St. Louis University. All right, two left on the 400 level.
Serving the company.
Serving the company. Passed out in the 1950s, how many years of service did this route salesman service pin celebrate?
5.
This one was 5. It's by 1960, the service pins had developed color coding as evidenced by this.
And just for your information, that's Sue Sterling's pen.
As evidence from this page in the catalog, they developed a color coding system. The blue sapphire was 5 years, the ruby was 10 years, a pearl was 15, an emerald was 20, and 25 years was a diamond, also known as the Quarter Century Award. All right, moving on to 500s. First one up. Oh, more 400. Tying it down. This route salesman tie clip features what logo on the front of the vending machine? Is the tile background? All right. Now then, we'll move on to the 500 level.
500. Bring it in.
Ring-a-ding. This top per capita ring was issued by the Toddling plant in 1994. If you need to phone a friend, you might want to call Will Finley.
Wake up.
Moving on to our next one. Buckle up. The perfect way to complete any route salesman uniform, this Dr. Pepper belt buckle was available starting in what day?
That's good for my 30s.
Here you can see it being advertised in the Dr. Pepper bottlers catalog.
What year was it?
30s.
It was the Dr. Chew catalog was one of the later 30s that we see in that.
35.
35, yeah. All right, category? Pin it down. These pins are similar in size to the old dot pin. What is the dimension? They're little. They are 11/16 of an inch in diameter. The advertisement here in the modeler's catalog also talks about the blue and white version. Useful for giveaways at fairs, picnics, and carnivals, they say. Once again, 1,000 buttons. I don't have the price. The price wasn't specifically with that particular image, but I'm sure it was very similar to the others that we have. Next category.
Just hanging around.
Just hanging around. No. Just hanging around. The bottle caps featured in this necklace were originally produced when? Can you tell from the picture?
90s.
Very good.
Can you tell us any more about that?
I cannot. I had heard that Charles might be able to.
I can give you a little bit of information. Sharon bought several of these from a little shop in Snyder Plaza, where a lady made them using lots of different bottle caps. I don't know if Sharon specifically commissioned her to make more using the Dr. Pepper or what, but
Yes.
they came from
There you go.
The
he
other
probably could have told you more.
the other side looks like hook patterns. Is the reason I was wondering.
Yes, they do.
That's my necklace. I ran it to the museum, it's too heavy to wear.
Yes, and it is in the display case on the second floor.
Thank you.
All right. Next category. Tying it down for 500. This bolo tie features the 1990s logo on the Texas-shaped plate and a braided cord made out of what material? All right, next category.
Serving the company.
Serving the company. To receive this pin, a route salesman had to do what?
Drive a truck.
Take
A little bit more than that.
driving?
Huh?
Take driving?
Safe driving,
Driving.
which is, I'm sure, all part of becoming an accredited route salesman. You have to take the training course. All right, are we all up for traveling through time then? This watchmaker is credited as showing the world's first television commercial before a Brooklyn Dodgers and Philadelphia Phillies baseball game on July the 1st, 1941. What is the company? And by the way, since we're all into figures and numbers and how much things cost, that first commercial was $9. All right, we are moving on to 600 level now.
Buckle up.
Buckle up is our first category. We are looking at the Dr. Pepper Phosphorus name here. What part of the logo is covered up here?
Wheat and iron.
Wheat and iron. These cufflinks date from 1976 to 1985 and are more than likely a design created by Gary Ellis. Next category?
Ring-a-ding.
Ring-a-ding for 600. This ring commemorates how many years that the Waco bottling plant was the number one per capita in sales.
87?
Not number of years.
25 years. It was actually 1993. Jack Kilduff and True Knowles attended the awards banquet along with the head of the bottling company, Jim Turner. The photo that you see here shows Penny Barfield, Sandra McKenzie, Randy Daniel, and Joy Wood admiring the ring. Next category. Start with your time. 4,600. What building is featured on the back of these watch fob?
Dr. Pepper Museum.
Building.
Yep.
Bottling plant of 1906.
Yes, yes. At the time when the watch fobs were produced, it was known as the Artesian Manufacturing and Bottling Company. We now are all very familiar with that building as the Dr. Pepper Museum. All right. What's our next category?
Take down.
Serving the company. In 1931, Bill Pick from the Waco Dr. Pepper bottling plant represented the company at what convention meeting in Dallas? It is the American Bottlers of Carbonated Beverages. Organization was founded in 1919 and is the trade organization for the beverage industry in the United States, now known as the American Beverage Association. All right, moving on.
Just hanging around.
Just hanging around. This charming bracelet represents a variety of advertising themes. What decades are represented? Mike Hill.
60s, 50s.
60s, 50s, 40s, 70s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. All right, 2 more categories left on the 600 level. What are we going for next?
Tying it down.
Okay. That is for time. What times are featured? Yay! Congratulations, everybody. A similar time bar was featured under the non-cooperative advertising items as a dealer gift suggestion in the 1960 bottler catalog. Non-cooperative. Evidently, it's not supporting the rest of the advertising things. It was just part of what they had to offer. It sold for $1.36.
Yes.
We're going to pin it down. What creature is attached to the bottom of the button?
Cricket.
Cricket. Not cricket. The button dates to 1904. All right, 700s. Here we are.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. One last belt buckle commemorates what rodeo held annually in Las Vegas? National Finals Rodeo. Sponsored by Dr. Pepper and considered to be the Super Bowl of rodeo. This belt buckle is from 2003.
Pin it down.
Pin it down. When did the Dr. Pepper Cadet radio show air? Pretty close. 1930s, 1937. It was broadcast from WFAA in Dallas, Monday through Friday from 5:15 to 5:30 p.m. Kid-oriented show that featured Violet as Sunshine, Captain Dunn, also Dr. Pepper, Sergeant Jimmy, Bolly Golly, Mike the Mouse, and Mother Goose. Children could become a Dr. Pepper cadet, and within 20 weeks of the first airing of the show, their membership numbered around 30,000 children. Kids would receive this button as part of their membership. All right, where are we heading? Ring-a-ding? This ring was awarded to salesmen who averaged what score when they took the 1941 salesman training course? 90.
We were listening.
Yeah.
Very good.
What are the initials at the end?
BD. DBE, drink a bite of Eda.
Oh, it's only outside. Drink about it.
Traveling through time.
All right, next category.
The traveling through time.
Traveling through time. What does this watch fob commemorate?
Welcome. Say something.
This watch fob was produced in 1991 to commemorate the opening of the Dr. Pepper Museum. All right, next one.
Making the way in the world today takes everything you got. Wouldn't you like to get away?
I think my computer's getting tired.
It tastes so rich and decadent, it belongs in the dessert aisle. Diet Dr. Pepper. There's nothing diet about it.
All right, 2 more to go.
Time down.
This Morgan silver dollar featuring Liberty was minted in the same year as what important event in soft drink history? 1885, Dr. Pepper's invention. All right, our last one. Hanging around. What company manufactured Dr. Pepper bottle-shaped charms?
James Avery.
James Avery. All right. Well, that brings us to the very end of